With Taskmaster happily chugging along, popular and well-liked, what better way to celebrate its 5-season anniversary by bringing together all the winners of previous seasons for a 2-episode miniseries? It's essentially a victory lap, with the stakes never lower. To everyone involved, producing this mini-run made as much sense as finishing a sentence without doing anything weird or crazy in the middle of it. Now, I suspect that these 2 episodes are very popular in replay among fans because it's so little investment and the winners are so popular. I hadn't rewatched them since first viewing, though I have watched that Make the Biggest Mess task on YouTube probably 28 times. So, revisiting today, what most surprised me was how ordinary they are. I watched them immediately after seeing Champion of Champions 2, which, despite some problems that I'll get into when I cover it, felt much, much, much more like an epic special in scope and the way the producers approached it. Here, there's basically nothing to it. The cast is introduced with little fanfare, and the tasks, especially in the first episode, are as underachieving as they come. There is nothing big, or elevated, or epic about them. The second episode is better than the first, but still, it's just an episode. Which I suppose is perfectly fine. It's the equivalent of warm Campbell's tomato soup. Who doesn't like that, aside from communists, gun enthusiasts, and TikTok stars? Now, to be clear, I am rating these players solely for their performance in Champion of Champions, and not their other season. I know that part of Noel's persona is that he just doesn't seem to give a shit, but boy oh boy does he not give a shit here. Which is something, I guess. But it's clear from minute 1 that he's not invested in the tasks, the banter, and would rather be elsewhere. His performance across the 2 episodes is underachieving at best. Even when the tasks where he was scored high seem like they were done by chance, like when he bounced that ball into a tub. I mean, the awful face mask, or blowing a Cheetos bag off a table? Ugh. His single moment that truly captured the anarchy that Noel brought regularly to his performance in Season 4 was when he had to open that briefcase and find out what was inside, so he just took it outside and began banging the shit out of it until it opened. A wonderful moment, but pretty fleeting. Sort of the same thing as Noel here, but to a lesser extent. Several of his moments called back his performance in Season 5, but less good. I'm thinking specifically of the broccoli machine mimicking the sausage machine, and that's not an innuendo. How dare you, sir? But while Noel did everything half-assed, Bob at least threw himself into the tasks, but with the expectation that what he was doing was funny, not the expectation he would win. He clearly is just being a little stinker throughout and chuckling when he gets away with it, like when he made the huge mess and decided not to clean it up. That said, the edible face masks. Dear God, the edible face masks. I would argue that 2 minutes of screen time we see Bob in that mask and the way he moans when Alex eats him are the high points of Bob's performance, not just in this season, but his own season.
Go for my nose, Pat. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, yes, I'm a sinner. I have sinned. Come on, eat me up. Oh, thank you. Oh.
Hey, Alex, it was just me.
Oh.
It was just me.
It's just comedic perfection. I would never ever accuse Greg and the producers of slightly overscoring Josh to get him to win, but look, I'm just saying the best narrative was to give the win to Josh, and that they clearly wanted Josh to get that fugly trophy into Greg's gold giant body. That said, Josh's performance was perfectly Josh. He threw himself into the task wholeheartedly, which is more than I can say for Noel. And I love seeing him descend into panic attacks over the slightest things, as always. My favorite part was him offering up the keys to his home in the final prize task. It was one of the last times the show took the prize task seriously and had the expectations that the contestants' lives might be impacted by their choices here. Would you go to live in Josh's house for a week, just for funsies? Let me know in the comments below. What a difference a few seasons make. The first time Rob played and won Taskmaster was doing so a week after his wife gave birth, and was essentially a crazy person. And really, who can blame him? I must admit, I like him much, much more here than in Season 3. His return trip to the series shows us what I assume is the actual version of himself, which is still a little cray, but also much more refined in his approach. His hack for make the biggest mess and clean it up was inspired.
It's not really the kind of broom I was after, but... Can you see any flour? Is there any flour on my face?
Not like it's... Oh.
As was choosing his contact lenses to blow off a table. Also, can we talk about his briefcase challenge? Bravo. Just bravo. So the queen remains on her throne after 2 glorious performances. And the fact that she didn't win after consistently being the strongest and most memorable player in nearly every task is bullshit. She also clearly was willing to go where other contestants refused to. She brought a video of her sister as Hitler. But, you know, nothing compares to the high point of the mini-season, and one of the best task responses, well, ever. When tasked with making the biggest mess and cleaning it up, she called her sister and said her brother-in-law was cheating.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that I have news from people back home that Alan is cheating on you.
No, he's not.
No, they saw him in a bar, and he was making out with this lady.
Well, I've been cheating on him for the last 6 months, so what's your deal?
Okay, well, I'll get more information for you when I have it, though. It might be not true, but it feels true. Bye. She wasn't that surprised. Okay.
In-fucking-credible. I bowed down to the awesomeness of her work. Girlfriend turned water into wine in a snap. Her face mask was art, I tell you. And she ran up those pedometers like a champ. Because she is a champ. And she should have won, Greg. First off, these are all from the first episode. This was a boring idea. You know it's a problem when someone is all in on a Cheetos bag. The explanation for the task was shockingly complicated for how simple the execution was. People bounced the ball into a tub and the audience cheered. Woo. I mean, this was pretty rough. Even the contestants were rebelling against Alex as the game was being played. And not in a funny ha-ha way, in a are you really fucking making us do this way? Especially Noel, who ended up winning. Afterwards, even Alex was making jokes that it was too complicated. But then again, little did we know how much more complicated things were going to regularly get in future seasons, didn't we? So this was the best the first episode had to offer. It was cute seeing Noel walk on the water, and Rob's pizza hack was better than he was given credit for. Bob's thing was baffling, but again, he wasn't playing to win. And Josh was overscored for something pretty obvious. But that said, Catherine made it work by performing like 5 at once. So kudos to her. This was genuinely a joy to watch. All the masks, except for Noel's, were funny and well executed. I love Alex cutting into Rob's head, and Catherine using hundreds and thousands all over.
Nice. Very sweet. Your mask tastes delicious, thank you.
But, of course, the highlight was Bob's mask and his moaning. Just glorious fun. All the contestants fully threw themselves into this task, except for Bob, who just threw himself into the mess part. And watching the contrasting styles of the types of messes was fun, as was Josh's semi-meltdown in the kitchen. That said, it's all about Catherine. Watching Josh's face as she detonates her family's lives, his genuine horror that she would go so far, it's glorious. All hail my queen. This closes the book on the first volume of Taskmaster, its placement making it easy to group the seasons together by 5. Well, 5.5, but you know what I mean. Shut up. Let me make the point. I think I would rate the first 5 seasons proper in this order. 4, 2, 5, 1, and, the other one. That said, this series wasn't substantive enough to really rank among the others, which I suspect is the same problem I'll have with the New Year's Treat episodes and Champion of Champions 2, but taken as its own thing, I guess I would give episode 1 1 point and episode 2 3 points, so 2 points overall. To conclude the volume metaphor, this is the epilogue at the end of the great novel that you're fine being there, but it doesn't really add anything to the narrative. But what do you think? Was Catherine robbed? Was Noel on autopilot? And have you ever eaten another person's face?